back here. I got to brag on him a lot tonight because he might have to catch me when I fall. But I want to tell you a little story, and I'm not going to take about 10 minutes of you guys' time tonight, and I appreciate it because I just feel like in my heart I need to share it with you guys right here. About 25 years ago, I was doing a lot of things different than I do now. I was drinking alcohol, but I wasn't drinking the strong booze. I was just drinking that beer, and it just stays with you for a few minutes. You just borrow a beer for a few minutes, and then you have to go right there in that little room. But me and this old young lady right here, her daddy was my best friend. And every Friday, me and him would get together down at his house. And she was living with her daddy then. She was something like, 9 years old? She was 8 years old then. And it was a Friday for me not to buy the booze. He had the booze bought, and I was trying to get there. So when I got about a mile from the house on Flat Shows Road, and I lived 5 minutes from her, I seen smoke in the air. And I said, doggone, I hope that ain't Grady's house, because we can drink some beer that day. And the closer I got, the closer it got in my mind it was his house. And I got about 200 yards from the house, and Larry, I tell you, he's an old retired fireman. And I'd like to bring this up too. That guy right there, he's more than a good husband to Anita right there. He went in a house after they done shut the house down. The little girl was 3 years old, and he got that little girl out, and she's still alive today. Let's give him another big hand. But that day, I got there, and used to, when you'd follow a fire truck, they'd charge you a $25 fine for following a fire truck to a fire. But that was something that we could, it was the only thing excitement to do then was follow a fire truck. But when I got to that house and I seen this house, it was the greatest house in Gulf, and the whole roof was caving in. And the fireman, before the last one just retired, his daddy was a fire chief there. And they had these saw benches up in the streets blocking the cars and trucks and anybody else coming in. And the first one I seen was this little girl over here, 8 years old. And I know something was wrong because I didn't see my buddy. And I asked the fire chief there, back in Steve's days, Steve was working there then with the fire department. He told me, he said, don't go in that house. It's engulfed with flames, the roof, sun fell in, would give up. But he was my buddy. And I run up there, and there was 2 red doors on that house, and that house is still standing again today. They built it back up. I knocked both doors down, and when I went in there, I guess it was just the Lord's way, It was as clear as this room here, but the house was gone. I seen my buddy sitting over there in a recliner, and he done swooped over. I said, I got to get him out again. I got him, and I toted him out on my shoulders. And got him out there, and I started falling. I don't know where you guys ever seen Roadhouse before, where the house caught on fire and Patrick Swayze went in the house and got the guy out. Let me call her up here, and I'm going to let her tell you the rest of the story. It turns out to be a good ending tonight. Boy, it's hard to tell you about old buddies. But as soon as I got him out, I fell going down the steps. And we just stumbled across the yard, and I fell on top of Grady, and I started pushing him, and I thought he was gone, And then I looked up at her, and I didn't want to say, hey, he's gone, and she had a little tear in her eye right there. And I said, Grady, are you going to be all right? And you know what he said? He looked up at me and opened up both eyes. I swear this happened before Patrick Swayze ever did Roadhouse. He said, I would be if you'd get off the top of me. And you know what? He lived another 22 years. But thank God, 16 years ago, I quit drinking that stuff. But I'm going to let her tell you exactly what she told me when he says, I would be if you'd get off the top of me. She had a little tear coming out. You can see her tear a mile away if you know somebody cares about somebody.
I told him he'd always be my friend.
Oh, that was a rough ordeal. But she's been with me for about 20 years. I lost a stepdaddy 4 years ago. I didn't call her and tell her nothing. She was there. She stayed with my mother. She's 85 and a half. I lost a sister last January to a murder. She's been there. She's always been there, and she's never told me no to nothing. And thank God today, me and her we've never had a cross word. But Joe, come here just a minute. It's my best friend over here. I don't know where you guys know Joe Ray or not, but I'm gonna let Joe hold me up now. But first of all, I want to ask her one more thing. You know, you've heard of people saying back way yonder, you wouldn't believe what we did down there behind the barn. Tonight I'm going to do something inside the barn. I'm going to ask this girl to marry me tonight. And I don't know what the answer's going to be, but I hope it's yes.
Yes, I love to.
And I'm going to also ask Joe Ray to be my best man. Y'all know what I'll ever be 150 with her. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Amen, brother.
She's guided me. She told me one day that one beer was too much and 1,000 was too many. And I quit them. We quit the same day.
Amen.